one of his goals this year was to be better than he was last year. And obviously had a really good year last year, and you could just see him continually. I mean, every day at practice, the kid's always working on getting better at something, and it shows.
Yeah. I mean, he came into the league. I remember as a rookie even talking about he wanted to be one of the best tight ends in the league, and everybody kind of like, they weren't laughing, but they were like, geez, that's kind of high, high aspirations, and he's getting there.
Yeah, he's always set the bar high for himself. Always challenges himself, and it's it's obviously starting to show up a little bit more this year than it has in the past, which is obviously good for us.
From a blocking standpoint, how much has Dallas improved since he got here?
A lot. He's worked really hard at it. He's got natural strength. I mean, we do our little drill before the game. I tell him, don't hit me so hard this time. My back's a little sore. But no, he's got tremendous strength, and he's starting to understand defenses. He's got the right attitude, rolls off the ball. So he's improved a lot, and he's only going to get better.
You didn't do a lot of it in college. So how were you able to scout and project that in the pre-draft process?
Talking to him, I've always said that blocking is really about a mindset, and then when you couple that with his physical tools, just his pure size and strength, you knew there was something there. You just had to teach him, some fundamentals, and he wasn't asked to do it. So a lot of it has just become reps.
When you're in those two tight end sets, how beneficial is it to have all three tight ends, obviously not on the field at the same time, but have all those players that can do everything?
Yeah, it's big for us because then you can't, defenses can't hone in on, well, this guy's in, so they're going to do this. So it's nice. Dallas has brought that where, he could play at the line of scrimmage, and then he can do some stuff for you in the passing game as well. And obviously Zach has improved greatly, so he's not one-dimensional anymore either. And then these other guys, Perk, I thought Perk did a good job for us in the last couple of games when called upon, blocking some guys. So it's been nice.
Has Zach's role changed at all now with Dallas? Because last year when you had Trey on the field, Zach is obviously more in line. You see Zach split out wide. Has his role adjusted or transformed at all?
I think it's just given us a little bit more flexibility. Again, Zach has his strength, Dallas has his strength. So, but both those guys are able to do a lot of the same things and a lot of the different things. So it's given us a little bit more flexibility, I think.
You're playing more 12 this year. What are you seeing from defenses? Mostly, are they a lot more going to nickel against it?
That's always the discussion we have going into a game where how they're going to play us. I think with the emergence of Dallas at the line of scrimmage, it kind of you don't know. Are they going to play us in their base, or are they going to play us in nickel? So it's a good problem to have. And but we've gone both ways on that.
I saw today where someone was saying that tight end is a really tough position for a rookie to come in and play a lot, without the knowledge of blocking and so forth developed in college. How is Dallas really doing very well in terms of what you tried to give him, and he seems to be getting the reps? And
yeah, he's done a really nice job. And to answer the first part of your question, yeah, it's different because you're coming from college where you weren't asked to do it, or you were, blocking guys that were 19, 20, 21 years old, versus now you're coming in and, you got Olivier Vernon across the ball from you. So it's a little bit different. It doesn't matter where you were. It takes some time. It takes, and then you got to learn the technique and all those things.
Frank Reich would always talk about Zach's ability to use his leverage kind of better than anyone he'd ever seen. On his touchdown on Thursday, can you kind of, what stood out there, the way he set up the DB, the way he ran his route, and kind of his leverage, that kind of thing?
He does. Zach's what we've worked on, and really to his credit more than anything, is trying to make everything look the same. And so when he came off the ball, it looked like one route, and then he sold it and was able to, obviously bend out of it and make a nice play. And Carson delivered a nice ball, but that's part of the the process over the last probably 3 or 4 years, is trying to make as many routes that initially look the same.
12 personnel typically is a run grouping. You guys are throwing a lot more out of it, which I guess really keeps defenses confused.
Yeah, and it helps when you have two guys that can, like I said before, do both. Play at the line of scrimmage and then play in the passing game. So it's definitely been beneficial for us.
Seems like nationally, Gronk and Travis Kelce are the two highest touted tight ends, despite the level of production that Zach has been showing. Any theories on that?
No, I don't really get into comparing guys. It's different systems, different all that. Zach's playing at a high level. Obviously, those two guys that you've mentioned are extremely talented players and are playing at a high level as well. So I try not to compare guys because situations are different, but Zach's playing really well right now.
Do you use it, or do you feel like Zach uses it? You know?
I don't know. You talk to him about that.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I go into every game. This is our matchup. This is what yada yada yada, and he takes it and he runs with it.
In Josh Perkins' case, he didn't really see much of him in the preseason because of the concussion. What made you trust him early on this year, and how have you seen him progress?
Josh has done a nice job for us, stepped into a role, obviously, with Richard going down. The first thing about Josh, that if you're around him long enough, you know how smart he is. He's been able to pick up the offense extremely well. Knows all three positions. He's got a lot of versatility there. Then obviously his athleticism. He's not afraid to go in there and fight with people at the line of scrimmage, which is nice. So he's done a really nice job for us.
With Brent gone, have you noticed Zach kind of step up as a leader a little bit in that room?
Yeah, most definitely. And that kind of started to emerge last year. Now the three of those guys, and then myself included, we were all together for a long time. So we kind of, Brent was the leader, if you will. But you could see Trey take over at certain points and Zach at certain points. And then this year, it's really been more of Zach, and done a really good job with it. Helping these guys, because everybody else is new to the offense. So helping these guys with the little intricacies of the offense, being a good example for these guys of how we practice, how we go about our game week. So he's done a really nice job.
I asked you this a couple of months ago about Zach. I mean, 8 red zone touchdowns last year, 2 again already this year. I mean, what makes him so effective, so tough to cover in the red zone?
He's got a great catch radius. I mean, you guys have seen it. He's made some unbelievable catches. He really does understand defenses, and he could kind of diagnose a defense right away. And then he's got that ability to process where he sees something, and then he's going to be able to make the subtle route adjustment. And then obviously Nick and him and Carson, those guys are just on the same page a lot. They get a bunch of reps at it. They like sitting there talking ball, so they're kind of going into a game. They've got a pretty good idea what's going to happen.
You were talking about whether teams use nickel or base against 12 personnel. Who charts that? Is that a quality control coach does that? Is there a service? Do you just watch film? How do you kind of get that data so you know what their tendencies are?
We'll get reports, and then you watch it, and then you kind of get a feel going in first couple series of what you think the game plan is going to be, and we always prepare for both. So there's a lot of things go into it.
Having spent some time under Doug now, what stands out about him and his leadership that has been effective?
He's got a great feel for the guys. He knows when to push them, and he's always pushing, but he knows when to kind of jump up on them and then kind of back off a little bit. Really even keel, doesn't let anything get to him, and I think guys feed off of that. When things aren't going exactly the way we want them, he's nice and smooth and calm, and he does a great job with this team.
And coaches have talked about how they're empowered by him, that he lets assistants do the job. What's an example of that from your perspective?
I couldn't give you an exact. That is a very true statement, but a specific example. I've gone to him with a couple things. Say, what do you think about doing this? Yeah, no problem. See how it looks. That's part of our job. We got a job to do, and he trusts us to do it. And as long as you don't go completely off the reservation, then he usually kind of gives you some leeway.